The A in STEAM equally important as the S, T, E, and M, right?
Oh, yeah.
You and I learned that, right?
Yeah, wait until you see that story. Please stick around
Looking
for
forward to that.
Good morning to you. It is Monday. Eric, I don't know if you got this, but when I was driving into work this morning, I had a little bit of mist on my windshield.
A little mist. It seems like that was sticking around net up for a lot of the weekend, especially we spent a lot of time in North County up in San Marcos for a baseball tournament, and it was just kind of like a mister was ongoing the whole time.
Yeah, just very light stuff. It didn't amount to anything, unfortunately. And yeah, it is out there again this morning. It's going to be on repeat the next few days. So morning marine layer each day. You'll notice that light stuff coming down. So it's just enough to create these streaks across cars. That's really what mine's doing. That dirt that's already on there, and then you add the mist to the mix, and those windshield wipers just smear it all the way across. So that may be your situation this morning. I apologize. But here's a look at that cloudy condition. It was nice to see some color on those classrooms with that beautiful artwork, because we don't see much color this morning, not across any of our cameras. We have a gray skies, overcast. It kind of looks like June. Here we are, end of September, where we're dealing with the marine layer. It's pretty deep, and it is a sign of cooler weather. So that cooler weather pattern is going to last through Wednesday because of a large trough that's really over the west. By the end of this week and into next weekend, we're going to be talking about Santa Ana winds and the return of heat. So at least we just, have two kind of split personalities when it comes to our week, the first half versus the second half. Jenny.
It adds a little excitement, you know. Hey, 6:02 on a Monday. It got a little bit busy traffic-wise with the crashes. I'm going to walk through some of them here. 8:05 heading southbound at about Orange Avenue. One lane blocked with a crash. Seems to be fairly minor. Not a lot of details coming in. I don't see any delays there. South County travel times are quiet. Coronado Bridge trying to build up, but it still looks pretty good. You saw a little bit of yellow there on the tail end. Further north on Wildcat Canyon, there is a crash right at Barona Road. Crews are blocking one lane, not a full block. Even further north, 78 San Pasqual Valley, there is a new crash there. 78 travel times look okay. Spotty volume south on the 15 out of Escondido from the 78, but otherwise North County looks pretty good.
Jenny, thank you. This morning, police are investigating what they call a suspicious death. A mother and her young son died after falling from Petco Park's concourse level onto the sidewalk below. News 8's Chris Groh live outside Petco Park now with the latest on the investigation, including reaction to this. Just so sad, Chris.
An extremely sad event. Now they have identified the 40-year-old and that 2-year-old. However, those names have not been released at this time, so we still don't know, again, who died in this incident, this mother and young child. But at the same time, police looking into a lot of things right now, trying to answer a lot of other questions, including whether or not this was intentional or accidental. This 40-year-old mom and her 2-year-old son, they died after falling from the stadium concourse level onto the sidewalk below us right here. We're on Tony Gwynn Drive and Allen. For a lot of people familiar with Petco Park, with Padres game day, this is an area that does tend to get pretty busy. So again, this happening at a time when there were a lot of people in this area. So no doubt police are going to be talking with those who may have been inside Petco Park, but also outside, trying to determine exactly what happened before these two fell. Again, trying to figure out exactly what may have happened here.
We are speaking to the father of the child. They were not married, but we do have the father of the child here, and we are speaking with him.
And the Padres did release a statement yesterday saying that they were deeply saddened by what happened. If you want to read the entire statement and more on this story, just go to our website, CBS8.com, and click on that story link. Eric and Stella.
Chris, thank you. An investigation is underway into a shooting in the Bayho area that left a man dead and a woman in the hospital. This shooting happened yesterday evening at about 5:20 off of Claremont Drive. Police say they responded to a domestic violence call. When officers arrived, they found a man dead in the front yard and a woman shot in the back. We're waiting for an update from police on her condition.
Well, this morning there is growing outrage over a plan to put a sexually violent predator in a Rancho Bernardo neighborhood. Dozens attended this town hall meeting over the proposed placement of Douglas Badger. State officials first considered placing him in a home in Mount Helix, but a judge ruled against it after fierce opposition from neighbors there. Now people who live in Rancho Bernardo are calling for the same action.
It's extremely uncomfortable and worrisome, honestly. We have so many kids in the community, so many young people as well, young adults, older people. I mean, it's such a diverse community. There's a lot of people at risk here, in my opinion.
Community members can weigh in on Badger's placement via email between September 30th and October 14th. For more information, you can head to cbs8.com and just click on the Help button. This morning, millions of Americans who got the Pfizer vaccine are now eligible for a booster shot. Boosters are given 6 months after a second dose.
The CDC recommends it for people 65 years and older, those living in long-term care facilities, and those with underlying medical conditions. Now, younger people with certain medical conditions or who may have an increased risk of exposure at work are also eligible. The director of the CDC overruled an advisory committee to make sure frontline workers were also included.
Our healthcare systems are once again at maximum capacity in parts of the country. Our teachers are facing uncertainty as they walk into the classroom, and I must do what I can to preserve the health across our nation.
Moderna is now seeking boosters approval from the FDA. Johnson & Johnson expected to apply soon as well. County leaders say they expect to offer the Pfizer booster in the coming days at its vaccination sites. Right now, UC San Diego Health is offering booster shots. It started with just healthcare workers. Eligible patients should receive online invitations. However, Sharp Healthcare is not offering boosters yet. In a statement, they say they are waiting on guidance from the Western States Scientific Safety Review Workgroup. Sharp Healthcare also anticipates a decision from the California Department of Public Health sometime this week. And also new this morning, New York is considering employing the National Guard and out-of-state medical workers to fill hospital staffing shortages. Today marks the deadline for mandatory COVID vaccines for healthcare workers in the state. Tens of thousands of workers could possibly lose their jobs, as some say that they do not want to get the vaccine. First, he won the gold medal at the Summer Olympics in Tokyo, and now one local star can call himself Ryder Cup champion.
Scripps Ranch High and SDSU alum Xander Schauffele helped Team USA win back the Ryder Cup.
Instead, it is a half, and it is Morikawa indeed who provides the cup clincher for the United States. Official, the cup is back in the United States' hands.
And that was the moment the win became official. Team USA won 19-9, handing the Europeans their worst loss ever. It is the first victory for the Americans since 2016. Trying to find Xander with all the red hats and shirts and everything there. Where is he? Somewhere in there.
You bring it home,
cup.
though. Look at that. What a big celebration. A big congratulations to hometown that is, Xander Schauffele.
Getting the red, white, and blue all bubbly there. Wet and bubbly.
Yeah. Very exciting, Netta. Good morning to you.
I was going to say, they are not drinking any of that. They're just letting it get all over their clothes. But
that's a champagne shower.
Well, no, they did. Some of them had their mouths open. I saw that.
That's true. They got a little trickles here and there. Yeah, it's kind of like our mist this morning. It's not champagne coming from the sky, though. Oh, no. We have a light drizzle in your forecast to start things off. Here's our look at downtown San Diego, right along the Embarcadero. And, you know, when we get that daylight a little bit more, you'll see we have this overcast conditions. And, yeah, you'll likely notice the drizzle. The relative humidity numbers are way up there because of it. So this is San Miguel's view, looking toward the east, where normally you'd see the sun coming up at 6:40 this morning. That's when it's supposed to happen, but none of us will likely see that because it's all coated in clouds. A deep, widespread marine layer. That's what we have this morning. So your visibility, it's down in Otay Mesa right now. Ramona's 7, 4 in Carlsbad. Overall, not really noticing issues with that patchy fog necessarily, but don't be surprised if you do need to slow down a little bit because of it. And then, of course, as you guys mentioned, that drizzle is there. It's upon us. Here's the relative humidity I was talking about in the upper 90s for a lot of spots. Right there at full saturation in Ramona. That is definitely where that mist is coming in. But really, the coast and inland, you're all going to notice it because of how deep this marine layer is. Now, rain cloud forecast model does show cloud coverage throughout most of the morning hours. And then this afternoon, typically the marine layer burns off, but it may linger right along our coastline for the whole day. So you may not see that sunshine. If you do, the marine layer will pretty much be quick to return because it is coming back again tonight. So today, tomorrow, Wednesday will be a lot of the same cooler weather, cloudy conditions, sweater weather. You may need some pants or boots or things like that for this. 62 in Poway now, 62 in Escondido, 63 for Carlsbad. So the cooler weather pattern is here because of this troughing, this big low that's up in the Pacific Northwest. It came all the way from the Gulf of Alaska, and yeah, it's moving towards Washington and Oregon, parts of Northern California right now, and that's a reason why we will be below average for the next few days. 73 downtown today, Ramona 75, Borrego 94 degrees, and you see that comparison to normal, we're in the negatives.